The story, and everyone should be able to see it from where they're seated. Following the children's story, Mato, if you would take the children's.
So today's talk is about living a cause, and the children's story, The Little Engine That Could, has 4 engines. You decide who lived a cause and who lived an effect.
The Little Engine That Could by Waddy Piper. A little red train whirled across the tracks. She carried food and toys and stuffed animals and dolls for the children of the mountain village. Oh no, the little red train stopped. She ran out of coal. What will all the good little girls and boys in the mountain village do without the toys and food? Chugging down the track came a shiny gold engine. All the toys in the train yelled for help just as he pulled up.
Shiny new engine, please help us! Our engine ran out of coal and we need to get to the mountain village by sunrise tomorrow.
So the children can play with us and have good food to eat. Please! I for you? Well, I'm a passenger engine. I only pull the richest and best dressed of people, like me. Especially my toys and food. Now get out of my way. I have business to attend to. The shiny new engine rolled away to the roundhouse where trains go when they have nothing to do. Oh, it'll be okay, said the clown. We'll just have to keep on asking passers-by. I'm sure someone will be kind enough to help us. Just then, the toys spotted another train coming their way. It was a big and strong engine. Look, there's a big engine that could easily pull us over the mountain.
Excuse me, Big Bright Engine. Our engine has run out of coal and we need to get to the mountain village by sunrise tomorrow so the children can have toys to play with and good food to eat.
You want me to pull you? Just so some kids can have toys to play with? I pull large freight cars filled with important things like machines that print newspapers and brand muffins. And anyway, I'm really tired. And off he steamed to the roundhouse. It's okay, said the clown. I'm sure we'll be able to find someone to help us. After waiting a few minutes, the clown spotted another engine. Look, there's another engine coming. She looks very small, but maybe she will help us. The little blue engine stopped when she saw the clown's flag.
What's the matter, friends?
She said, please help us. Our engine ran out of coal and we're stuck here.
Oh, we need to get to the mountain village so the good children there can have toys to play with and good food to eat.
Please help us. I'm not very big, said the little blue engine.
I've never even been over the mountain before.
The little blue engine knew it was going to be hard to get over the mountain. But she thought of the children and how sad they would be if they didn't get their toys.
I don't know how we will get over the mountain, but I think I can.
Said the little blue engine. All the toys celebrated and hopped into their cars. The little blue engine began pulling the train, saying,
I think I can, I think I can, I think I can.
the train started moving. All the toys cheered for the little blue engine.
We think you can, we think you can, we think you can. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can.
Up. Faster, faster, and faster the little engine climbed. The little blue engine reached the top of the mountain.
Hooray, hooray!
Cheered all the toys.
Thank you, my little blue engine. Now the good boys and girls can get their toys and food.
And the little blue engine smiled. It seemed to say it as she puffed steadily down the mountain.
I thought I could, I thought I could, I thought I could.
Shall we sing the children up? Page 114 as we leave this
Bye, Em.
Together, we share stones of joy and sorrow. To do this, we come to the stones, select one, and hold it close to our heart, sharing with our community something we are joyful for or concerned about. We place the stone in the water and let the ripples carry our sentiments throughout. Please come and share your stones of joy and sorrow.
Good morning, I'm Barb, and I think this morning I made at least 50 stones for the tragedy that happened this morning in Atlanta. And this was the good one, I was going to say. Some of you have heard me tell stories about my prodigal son. Our family is finally starting to heal, and I'm starting to have a relationship with my grandsons.
Good morning, my name is Sioux. I'm a member here. Keeping on the theme of grandchildren, I just spent the last 10 days being a granny nanny, which is our term for taking care of grandkids. And we have two, and the little boy is this very gregarious, outgoing child who loves everybody. And our little granddaughter, who's now 14 months old, is a very introverted little person, including us. And so it was a real challenge to kind of break through that barrier and know that it was okay. So part of my job was to pick them up before school and occasionally drop them off. And I had steeled myself for a screaming child, because that's what she does when she's afraid and when somebody's there that she doesn't know. And barely a whimper. And by 47, she was crawling over to me, so it's like, yay! So let's hope, see how long that remembers. Anyway, yay for grandkids.
Hi, I'm Clara, I'm a member here, and I just wanted to celebrate my son's high school graduation, which was a week ago.
And I have a stone for my son David, who reached Rio on his yearly trip safe and sound yesterday morning at 10 a.m. So thank goodness. And if there are no others, I would like to take this moment of silence to send our thoughts to all of those whose families have suffered through such needless violence, especially those who lost their lives this week. We'll have just a moment of silence. continue our service this morning as we collect the offering, and Christy plays Sapphire Blues. And
responsive reading number 660. It's called To Live Deliberately, feeding into today's Living Cause. I'll read the solid parts and italics by you. Why should we live in such a hurry and waste of time?
We are determined to be starved before we are hungry.
I wish to live deliberately to front only the essential facts of life.
I wish to learn what life has to teach, and not, when I come to die, discover that I have not lived.
I do not wish to live what is not life. Living is so dear.
Nor do I wish to practice resignation, unless it is quite necessary.
I wish to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life.
I want to cut a broad swath, to drive life into a corner, and reduce it to the lowest terms.
If it proves to be mean, then to get the whole and genuine meanness of it and publish its meanness to the world.
Or it is a sign to know it by experience, and to be able to give a true account of it.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming. Living in cause and living in effect. So obviously, the little engine that could, cause, he just kept right on going. But even the red engine was out of coal, and his model of the world was, well, I'm out of coal, I just quit. You know, and the passenger, his model was, well, I only do passengers. The freight train only did freight. And their model was so restricted in the world because of their identity that they were living at effect. They just went to the roundhouse and lost a chance to bring joy to other people. So, brain science teaches us how this all works, and even today, if we have enough time, we get to enhance how it works. My background, it sounds really data-ish, and I realize our backgrounds are static, so I would rather say my story. Stories change. I'm a lifelong lover of the scientific method ever since I was a kid. I was kind of that Sheldon-esque guy from Big Bang Theory who wasn't very good in emotional settings, but always had the facts, and so that was, well, you know, I left science. I could prove I was right with science. And I'm presently living as a hand surgeon, and I've been a student of human happiness for over 17 years. And usually I'm too close. There we go. I came to Sioux Falls in 1998, and soon after went to a group in Sioux City called Mankind Project. They have world centers, I think, I don't know, between 50 and 100. It's a great place to learn emotional literacy. As a scientist, I didn't have words for emotions, so I couldn't study it or organize it or think about it. From 2010 to the present, I've had a whirlwind tour with outstanding mentors. Tony Robbins, Steve Linder, Brendan Bouchard. These people have got great offerings even online. It's all free, most of it's free. So emotional literacy, what I learned was we can actually manipulate them through physiology and thoughts. There are relationships between emotions. You know, anger, turns out anger, especially in males and myself included, when I'm angry, it's usually because something happened that triggered fear or sadness. And rather than show my fear or sadness, I get angry at the situation that brought it on. That's living in effect. We can manipulate them through physiology. Now, if you were just to sit there and imagine kind of sitting in a chair and just kind of going, hanging down like this, that's a very depressing physiology. Your stress hormones might even go up. But if you sit up tall, take a big breath, maybe even give a little fist punch and a little breath, it energizes your whole body. So these are things that we all know about, but it turns out we can deliberately use them to change our emotions, to change our state of mind. Amy Cuddy has a great story. She was injured. She's had a great TED Talk. She was injured as a teen, lost her high IQ, lost her identity. That's who she was. She had a professor to help her get through a prestigious college, doing a fake it until you make it mindset, and she's now a Harvard business law professor. And she had her empowering businesswomen with a stockfish position. That's this one right here. There's 3 positions. We can talk about that in a circle discussion later. She has changed how executives train for meetings. And it's just because the physiology can change the mind can change the physiology. Learning from people. I've learned the most from people around me. Used to be a technician in the operating room would say, well, Dr. Wynkoop, what do you want to do this? No, let me talk about it. I'm the doctor. But that's living in effect. Somebody has done something to me, and I'm not questioning my authority, questioning whether I'm good or not. Here's my living in a cause. Somebody says something to me, and I say, first thing that comes out of my mouth is thank you. It literally changes the neuropeptides and the neurons putting the hormones in your blood. It settles you down. I say thank you. And there are situations where things really trigger me the hardest, and people bring up my worst emotions. That's where you can learn the most. That's where I can learn the most. So for those of you that have spouses, it took me years to learn this, but when they say something and I go, no, now I go, thank you. And I pause, and I think, where's the lesson here? So anyway, why did I introduce living in cause? Living in cause is tough. It's really hard to change that mindset. But of all the different parts of psychology I've studied, all those different mentors, it all boils down to that choice of letting somebody say something to you and you react, or wait a minute, what can I learn here? Live at cause to bring your best self forward. So that's why we're discussing it. I think it shifts one's paradigm, which is scary. People don't like to give up where they were. I didn't like to give up my identity. My identity as this little kid who was like Sheldon, I'd hear people talking and they would say something I knew a fact about. And I would interject it right into the middle of their conversation, showing that I'm smart and I'm me and pay attention to me and I'm worthwhile. And guess what that would do to the conversation? People would be looking at me like, who's this guy? I don't like having him around. So that was me living the effect of my feeling insecure and using my intelligence, my scientific method to be social. So anyway, and it's difficult to accept this concept. I suggest very few of you will say, oh, I'm going to live a cause right now. That's easy, I'll just quit reacting. That's real easy. The next time my spouse says something, I'm going to say, thank you. So, brain science. This stuff has been around for less than 10 years. That's the mechanical stuff in our brain, the chemicals. The feeling stuff, the brand new feeling stuff, has been 16 years. Now, when I say brain science, I'm really giving credit to the psychologists for understanding how the brain works and completely changing how they do things. People do not lay down on couches and talk about their past anymore. The stuff is the biomolecular, electrochemical, functional MRI, optogenetics. Feelings is positive psychology. CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, started out depression only about 15, 20 years ago, but 16 years ago and 10 years ago, it changed into, it turns out it can be used for lots of stuff. I tried to find out if there's anybody in town doing it. There's nobody in town doing CBT.
Very behavioral.
So, brain science, quick Google it. 400, what is that number? 437 million results. I did UU, 4 million. Not bad. Not bad. We're 100th, you know, the really top subject. So 90% of what we know about the brain, as I said, is brand new. And there's a guy named Michael Stryker, a prominent neuroscientist at the University of California. He said, I really feel sorry for people that retired 5 years ago because the science, stuff like this has come up. It's amazing. That's a pathway in the brain been measured. I didn't even know about this optogenetics. They take a certain gene and they can tag certain neurons in the brain cell of a mouse. They then drill a hole, put a fiber optic cable in the top of his head. They turn a light on and it shuts off the cells, just the ones that were marked. Turn the light off, the cells go back on again. They can now understand exactly what's happening in certain parts of the brain. The amount of knowledge that's being gained is just mind-boggling. And remember my promise, if some of you look at the letter, I'm going to boil it all down to one sentence. Okay, functional MRI, real-time images of the brain. They've had people play instruments, look at pictures, and what, for instance, they can look at your visual cortex and they can see how many objects you're looking at, whether they're close or far, whether they're bright or dim, and what color they are. Amazing, just from the functional MRI. Memories, that's been a hard one. What exactly is a memory? And the reason it's hard is it's all over the brain. It basically is a group of neurons that are primed to fire together in the same pattern that created the original experience. And each component of the memory is stored in the area that generated it. So if you have a memory that has sight, sound, and smell, those three parts of the brain are all neural-linked and to when you have that memory. What we found is the brain cannot tell the difference. The subconscious, some people call it unconscious, the subconscious cannot tell the difference between a vividly visualized memory and the real thing. Andrew Agassi was interviewed after winning the U.S. Open when he was like 20 years old, and the first time he ever played, he was unseated. Wow, how does it feel to win the U.S. Open for your first time? And he looked at him and said, first time? No, that's the 1000th time I've won it. And the guy said, what do you mean? I've been winning this every day since I was 12 years old. So by visualizing it in his head, it literally changed his brain so that when he was in the finals and otherwise would have been riled up, he'd done it so many times in his brain, it was no big deal. So that's what we can take advantage of. We can take advantage of the fact that our brain can't tell the difference, and we build a neural pathway. The neural pathways, the ones that are strong, the ones that we trigger easily, are the ones that we visit the most often, and we visit the most recently. That's why we study for tests the night before and the week before, not 2 months ago. You know, and we study many times. So we all know this stuff, but it's neat to see biochemically why it works. The opposite is also true. This is why you don't lay on the couch and talk about your childhood traumas. It fires it off, it brings up the emotions, it actually can bring back post-traumatic stress disorder. You don't talk about it. You choose which way you want to go for your life, you give a new meaning. Instead of, I was in a destructive relationship. Monica Lewinsky is a great example. She took that moment when the FBI walked in, ruined her life. That poor woman couldn't even get a job as a volunteer for years. And she changed that meaning of that afternoon to that's the moment I survived. And she now walks around the world. She's got a good TED Talk. She goes around the world teaching people how to survive really traumatic moments. So she changed the meaning of the exact same memory that changed her life. She was a living cause when she did that. These new therapies, you got to get rid of the A.N.T.S, the automatic negative thoughts, because they literally change the neurobiology in your body. They increase your stress hormone, make you not as healthy. How do they connect? The brain and the feeling part of your body is their chemical messenger system, the whole science. We knew about the adrenal glands. I come up behind Paul and I pop a balloon, his adrenals will squirt and he'll be like this for a while. That turns out though that even the neurons can give can put out paracrines and autocrines and all this other stuff. It's just amazing, the connection. Positive psychology was first started to be written about in the year 2000. Selig didn't like the idea that we had a disease concept of brain problem, of behavior problems. We broke it into little pieces. Here's depression, this kind of depression, that, and you treated each one by itself. And the best you did was get the poor soul back to neutral. And he said, well, why don't we study happy people? Why don't we study the people that are really intelligent? So he started that. And this man has done an amazing thing, Authentic Happiness website. I think it's in the handout, but that's the one thing that you should remember from this. That site, he's the guy that's done scientific testing. One was fun versus philanthropy. He went out and took kids and did a weekend of fun. He measured how much life satisfaction they had. Pretty much fell off on Monday. He went out on a weekend and did philanthropy for a weekend. The life satisfaction lasted for quite a bit of time. He has a gratitude visit that is astounding. What you do, two people completely in tears, completely full of gratitude. The effect of life satisfaction for both parties lasts for months and months. This is basic science, looking at how the brain works. It's so exciting. This website, I just clicked initiatives. 9 different initiatives come up. If you hit questionnaires, he's got 19 free questionnaires. You can figure out what's going on in your life by taking these. Some pertain to kids, some pertain to, you know. Anyway, so cognitive behavior therapy. This is a diagram of it. The bottom line is core beliefs. Feelings, thoughts, behavior. If your core beliefs, your core memories, are what control all of this. We can choose our thoughts, we can choose our behaviors. That's what we're learning. I now work on giving kids positive core memories around being injured. I had a little girl, she had her finger smashed pretty bad, and I come in, somebody's already numbed her up, I'm doing a nail bed repair, she's got a pillow up like this, every time I touch her finger she's jumping, and I say, Mom, have you seen the movie Inside Out? Yeah. You want to give your daughter a good core memory, will connect to a model of the world that will help her in the future? Yeah, let's do it. We move the pillow aside, we talk to the child. She thought it was pretty cool. Hey, I can't feel my finger, but there it is. Hey, it's got blood coming out of it a little bit, it's got some stitches in it. And I looked at her and I said, you got stitches and you did good. Big, huge smile on her face. I said, hey, why don't you say that? Took 3 or 4 times. And she finally said, I got stitches and I did good. The smile on her face was huge. I said, Mom, you say that to her every hour for the next 2 weeks. Recency and frequency, that'll be burned into her head. She'll have a neural pathway that the next time she hurts herself, or when she has a friend or a child that hurts themselves, she'll have a positive place where she can live at cause instead of living at effect. Core memories, really important. They change every time we access them. In the movie Inside Out, there was a happy memory. When the little girl lived in New York, she now lives in San Francisco, it became a sad memory. Again, recency, frequency, I'm going to say that, it's so important. Here's a picture from the movie. That's a core memory that used to be green and happy, it's now blue and sad. The core memories go in here and they connect out to different models of the world. This little girl's model of the world, emergency room, me being injured. We've given her a new core memory that can make her, allow her to live in cause. Jennifer Ouellette, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She's a scientific writer. She wrote a bestseller, Me, Myself, and Why. She did everything. She did LSD. And she came up to the conclusion, the same thing. We are our identity, who we are, how we react to the world, is a function of the memories we focus on and the meaning we give them. And she went back and had, oh, these are my core memories. These 3 are really important. That's why I am who I am. She went back and ruined that. She mixed her life upside down when she found her diaries from high school and college. Her core memories were not the same as in her head. So again, undermining, we can choose memories, and we can choose what they mean. Bottom line summary, okay, identity is the function of only 2 things: the memories we focus on, the means we choose for those memories. Here's the one sentence that connects all of it together. One's identity lies in the cellular neuropeptide, neural pathway you strengthen by recent and repeated thoughts. So you're going to change your identity, change your thoughts. So choose your thoughts, Choose thoughts that benefit you and visit them often. A super modern breakthrough. I think this is so great, you know, this is wonderful. And I came across a quote, hey, this guy really figured it out. What is this? Is 10 years old or is it 16 years old? A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. This stuff has been around forever. It's just that Western medicine is measuring it and figuring it out and making it easy, therefore, for me to understand. Scientific American also, we used to think the adult mind cannot change, just babies can change. Well, Scientific American just came out with the 10 years, 10 big ideas. Number 3, adult brain is malleable. So no, I'm not stuck in that idea. I don't have to be that guy that only proves how good he is by having facts come out and explaining things. I can be someone who listens and says, my goal is to make them feel better and comfortable. How can I serve them with a piece of conversation? How can I serve them by joining the conversation? So, how to exterminate the ants in your head? There is a automatic negative thoughts, ants. Again, they literally shift the neuropeptides in our brain and the neuroendocrine hormones in our blood towards negative emotions and health. It's not good. Depression is the best example of that. We've known for years, even before they're 16 years, we've known that people who are depressed get sick more often, they get cancer more often, they die earlier. This is why. The depressed people, they've got negative thoughts going through their head all the time. And cognitive behavior therapy was designed to help depressed people without the medication so much. This handout is in your folder, hopefully. The first part, there's a 3-step process. I made it very simple. You know, the first one, just write down the negative thought. You know, and why is this ant not true and not helpful? You know, I'm getting ready this morning, and I go up to the garage, and I come back in again, and I go, oh, my phone's out in the car, and I need my phone. I'm at the point where I have to choose live at effect or live at cause. The old me would have said, darn it, I can't, I've been out the garage twice, and both times you left your phone there. What's wrong with me? How come you keep doing such stupid stuff? Okay, that's living in effect, that's negative. And now it was, oh, yeah, the phone's still out in the car. Well, you really need it. I'm so glad you remembered. Let's go get it right now. I'm going to focus and get it right now so I don't get distracted again. So, hey, I did it without getting angry at myself. That's living a cause. And the reason ants are good for learning to live a cause, you only have to deal with yourself. You don't have to deal with other people. Kill the ant. The third part, you know. So my case was, the situation was when I forget something, you know, and I feel like beating myself up. You know, the reason that's not helpful, it just makes me, it just ruins my internal chemistry. So that's the negative part. And so the solution for me is to say, hey, I'm glad I remembered. I'm glad I'm not going to forget that all the way. So there are some universal ant poisons. There is no failure, only feedback. Everything that goes wrong in life is a disguised teaching in some way. That teaching might simply be, well, don't do that again. Dan Davis spoke here last month. He suggested negative thoughts. He talked about these without using the term ants. He said, when he has one of those, say, thank you for your suggestion. I will take that under consideration. Then he imagines writing on a piece of paper, crumbling it up and throwing it away. So, if you have some ants that are really persistent, the backside is the full, long method, which is a little bit cumbersome, but there's definitely useful things in there about deciding what species your ant is. Anyway, so these are some of the things that you can do. An interesting one is the second one. Third one. I'm awesome at this. Why is that negative? Because if you think you're awesome, nobody else can tell you anything. You can't learn anything else. If you think you're awesome, your brain fires, everything's fine, and people that have really good positive thoughts, they don't reach their goal because they feel so good already. You're better off to say, I'm on the right track. So I'll come back to that. This slideshow and much more should be at my Facebook community. You can do a Facebook search. This is written on the bottom of your paper. Live at Cause. On Facebook, I tried it with Google. It doesn't work. You have to be in Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, I guess you're one of the ostracized people in our society. Frustrates me. Or WW Brain Science will also get you where you'll see this little thing across the bottom that causes brain science stuff, and you can get a lot of these references. So thank you very much, and I appreciate it. Bring your little homework to the circle discussion, and we can talk about your ant killing poison. And I would like to lead in a meditation. Brain science, Western science is cleared the board. Eastern meditation, there tends to be ways to do it. This group wants it done that way, this group wants it done the other. And Western medicine is showing even a minute or two with your eyes open, driving your car, clearing your head improves your mental health. So here's a meditation that I've liked, and don't be discouraged because you only do it for a couple minutes. It's still beneficial. But the one I like is the one that Brendan Burchard teaches, which is called the release meditation. So you just relax, feel your body. I like to breathe in through my nose, and I purse my lips and breathe out. And I just say the word to myself, release. Breathe in. As you breathe out, I visualize the air coming out of my mouth. Keep my visual cortex busy. I say release. You can release anything you want. Do that for me. Western medicine is finally acknowledged meditation is beneficial. We've studied it with positive findings for 50 years, but nuclear real-time brain scans came up, they couldn't deny it any longer.